Okay, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in virtual reality on the headset. I'm actually using the PC to run this, of course. A PC is required. The program is actually over 200 gigabytes, so pretty large program, can't fit in the headset. So right now I am sitting at the JFK airport and I am going to make a quick flight over to Newark Airport in New Jersey. And I'm going to kind of go through the steps of what I've learned so far in flying this Airbus 320 Neo. So I am going to turn on the aircraft. I'm going to turn on my APU master, APU starter. Wait for that to come on.
Take off runway tree 1 left climb and maintain 2,000 feet. Departure on 135.9er squawk 0007.
Okay, she wants me to go to 2,000 feet, so I'm going to turn my altitude to 2,000 feet.
Contact ground on 121.65 when ready to taxi. Good day.
Okay, I'm going to ask for ground services. I'm going to request that the jetway be connected so my passengers could come on board.
Could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
So my jetway is going to come on in. I'm going to also ask for baggage service.
Kennedy ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320.
So as you can see, this airplane looks, the cockpit looks very realistic. The majority of the instruments in the cockpit work just like a real airplane.
Kennedy ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320. Could you please send the catering truck?
Okay, so while I'm loading up, we could take a look. I could actually step out the aircraft, you know, it's VR. I just stood up and I'm walking around so you can see the jetways connected. You could see baggage is being delivered. And then back there is the catering truck that's pulling up. You see the tower. Of course, the terminal trucks. They got baggage carts sitting around. This is so cool. I literally feel like it's real. So there's my catering truck. He's back there. And he's going up to deliver the food. So if my room was big enough that I could actually walk back and check out the entire airplane. So I'm gonna, you can see here, I could actually step back into the galley. A little bit low, but it shows the galley, which is kind of wild. And if I go back behind the curtain, it looks like this. Look at the bags coming in. It would be kind of cool if you had passengers in here, but you can see I could walk all the way back. This is wild. So I'm gonna step back. Actually, yeah, if you look through the window, you see the seats. Just kind of wild. Go back on this side. All right, so I'm gonna sit back down and finish everything up and getting this ready. So I'm gonna say disconnect the jetway.
Kennedy ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320. Could you please disconnect the jetway from the aircraft?
I'm gonna say end baggage service.
Kennedy ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320. I am done with the baggage service.
Here's the jetway going back. I am going to end the catering service.
Kennedy ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320. I am done with catering services.
All right, I'm going to turn on my fuel pumps. The APU bleed. So you hear the engines coming on. I'm going to turn my engine mode to ignite start. Turn on my two engines. So you'll start hearing the engines rev up. I'm going to request for a pushback.
Kennedy ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 requesting pushback.
Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 pushback request accepted.
And I'm going to say push me back to the right.
Kennedy ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 requesting pushback tug to steer the aircraft to the right.
Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
So I think I said I'll be flying from Kennedy Airport in New York City to Newark in New Jersey. So it's going to be a very short flight. I need to take my parking brakes off for him to push me back. So we should see the aircraft start moving back. My engines are on. So this is going to be a ILS approach into Newark. I'm going to use instruments to actually land the plane. So I'm going to, when I take off, I'm going to go to autopilot, and the plane is pretty much going to fly itself and take me into land. I'm going to say stop pushback.
Kennedy ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 requesting the end of pushback.
So you can see there's other aircrafts here
X-ray 320 request to
sitting around. There's other
Kennedy
airplanes.
ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 with Sierra ready to taxi IFR.
Okay.
Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 taxi to and hold short of runway 31 left using taxiway hotel.
So I'm going to runway 31 left.
Juliet Zulu.
So it's going to direct me to the runway.
119.1 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 31 left via taxiway hotel Bravo Bravo Juliet cross runway for left Juliet Zulu Airbus 320.
Right, so I am going to make my way to the runway. One of the cool things about this is I could actually play with the time of the day. Alright, let me pay attention here before I show you that. We got a car here right in front of me. Let me slow down a little bit.
Hold position Airbus 320.
Let me slow down a little bit here. I'm going a bit too fast. I'll overrun. It's easy to overrun onto the grass. So it's in the evening in New York. But it looks very realistic. Of course, you know, I can't wait for the day where the headset optics is actually 4K, but you know, it's good enough for now. They do have headsets that are way that can give you 4K clarity, but those headsets are probably $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. So for now, the Quest 3 will do. Let me slow down here. All right, so she wants me to stop right here.
Kennedy Tower Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 ready for IFR departure runway 31 left.
Okay.
Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 altimeter 29.9 to wind calm.
Okay, so I am cleared to take off.
Cleared for takeoff runway 31 left Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320.
But one thing that's cool about Microsoft Flight Simulator, I can play with the time of the day. So I could you can see the time of the day changes all the way from early morning which is kind of cool. All the way to night. You can see all the lights. I could also play with the weather if I want to add clouds. You can see the clouds will pop up. We could also make it rain. So you can see it's cloudy and it's raining. We could also make it snow. You can see it snowing. And we can actually move up the cloud levels. You can see here the clouds. I can actually move the clouds up and down, which is kind of wild. So I'm gonna go back to clear skies, and go ahead and take off. All right, so I'm clear to take off. I'm gonna get into position. Brake. Go into the evening, so it's still not so bright. Or I can make it at night. I'm gonna make it a little evening here. Okay. Well, the sun is actually in my face. So there's the sun. All right, so I'm gonna line up on the runaway. All right. Throttles up. All right, so I am running down the runway to take off. So I'm gonna rotate. When it hits about 100 and... Actually, I could rotate a little after... Rotate about 160. So I'm going to take off. So I'm climbing, and I am going to lift my gear, landing gear, and I'm going to go to autopilot. All right, so right now the autopilot is activated. So right now the plane is flying itself, and the cool thing about VR, hey, I can stand up. And take a look. See, I'm banking left. You can see the airport. Just took off from.
Is at 1,400 feet.
See the land. I can walk around, take a look. And one of the cool things is at night it looks pretty cool. So I could say, let's see what it looks like at night. So at night you could see the moon. See all the lights in the city. And actually flying over Manhattan is pretty cool. So it's a clear night in New York City. So it's going to be a short flight into Newark. And the plane is going to take me there. The flight plan has been entered, so it's just going to follow a flight plan into Newark. As far as weather, we could say, had a few clouds. So you can see a few clouds there. But you can look down and see there's a baseball field right there. There's the moon. But this looks very realistic, especially at night. It looks really good at night. So right now I'm flying at about 200, a little over 200 knots per hour. I'm about 2,000 feet. And the plane is flying itself. Everything looks good. I'm going to make sure my speed brakes is armed. And I am going to turn on my auto brake for when I land.
Airbus 320, you are 14 miles southeast. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors. Localizer Yankee runway for left approach.
Okay, so I'm 14 miles away. Maintain altitude.
Maintain present heading and altitude.
And heading.
Expect vectors. Localizer Yankee runway for left approach. Airbus 320.
So I'm going to be landing on runway left approach. All right, so here's the route I'm gonna fly, and then it's gonna bank right into New York Airport. I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit. I'll go from the morning. But this is like early morning. But I actually really enjoy Flight Simulator. So it took me a while to figure out how to fly by instrument. Initially, I was just flying it myself, and then I figured out, hey, I could fly an autopilot, and the autopilot does a pretty good job of landing the plane. Let's see, for some reason, I'm at, what did I say? It should be 32,000. Okay, so as you can see, as I come closer here, it's gonna bank right, and it's gonna, I'll turn on my ILS info display, and then my localizer, and then when I line up, I will turn on my approach mode, and then we will land. So the plane will be banking by itself to the right. So you can see it right now. It's going to start banging to the right on its own. And this is pretty much how the real pilots do it. Of course, I'm sure it's more in depth than what I'm doing. Here we go. We're banking right. So let me see. I'm gonna go to actually, let me turn on I forgot to turn on my lights on. Turn on my landing light, my strobe light. Turn on my beacon. Leave the taxi lights on so we could take a look outside. See, my lights are on. Plane is banking to the right, and I could see the airport. It's coming around. But I gotta tell you, I really enjoy flying in VR. Way better than looking at the computer screen, because I literally feel like I'm in the aircraft. Okay, so we're coming around. I'm going to turn on my ILS info display.
You are 12 miles south of Newark. Maintain present heading and altitude. Contact Newark Tower on 118 decimal tree.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Tower on 118 decimal tree, Airbus 320.
So we're coming around.
Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 32012 miles south inbound localizer Yankee runway 4 left approach.
Okay, so the aircraft is going to automatically line up with the runway, which is going to do a much better job than if I was to do it manually.
Cleared localizer Yankee runway 4 left approach.
Cleared localizer Yankee runway for left approach Airbus 320.
Okay, so we're banking. The aircraft is going to make a little adjustment to line up with the localizer and the glide slope. So it's making a little bank to the left, and the autopilot is going to make a little bank to the right to line up with the runway. You can see the two runways. I guess I'll be on the one to the left, I believe. Right, so we're coming in nice. Everything is set. Speed brake. Ooh, why is my speed brake off? Speed brake is on. I'm gonna arm make sure my speed brakes is armed. Got my auto brake on. coming in nice. I'm lining up with the localizer to be centered with the runway. And then my glide scope, I should be coming in at about a 3 degree angle. And I'm going to arm my approach mode. So we lock that in. And now the plane is going to slowly descend into Newark Airport on runway 4L.
Clear to land runway for left Airbus 320.
So I'm cleared to land. We're coming in nice and steady. So at the last minute, I'm going to turn off the autopilot and land the plane. But you can see the autopilot, that's pretty much done all the work. So way nicer to fly this way than to fly manually. So everything looks good. My speed is about 160 knots per hour. I'm coming down about 1,300, 1,200. They'll start counting off at 1,000 feet. You'll hear the computer start to talk. Everything looks good. Oh, forgot to drop my landing gear. Ugh. So I didn't drop my landing gear. It gave me a warning, but it automatically dropped the landing gear for me, which, of course, in real life I would have a checklist before I land. But I should have remembered that. So I'm coming in. I'm lined up nice with the runaway.
400.
There's 4 lights to the left, 2 white and 2 red, showing that I'm lined up pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna take control as we get closer to the runaway.
100.
Autopilot off.
60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard, 5.
And touchdown. My speed brakes kicked in automatically. My flaps are done automatically, and reverse on the my throttle. Okay, so we're going to exit the runway. I'm gonna go a little later so we can see a little sunshine.
Airbus 320, contact ground on 132.45.
Okay.
Going to 132.45 Airbus 320.
Okay, so we're gonna go to ground services, and then we're gonna request taxi to gate.
Ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-Ray 320 taxi to the gate.
Okay, so we're gonna go park.
Airbus Alpha Sierra X-Ray 320 taxi to gate Alpha 14 using taxiway Bravo 2 Romeo Juliet cross runway 22 right Bravo Tree Bravo Romeo Charlie Alpha Tree Alpha 2 Romeo Alpha.
All right.
Taxi to gate Alpha 14 via taxiway Bravo 2 Romeo Juliet cross runway 22 right Bravo
wants me
3
to go
Bravo
back this
Romeo
way.
Charlie Alpha Tree Alpha 2 Romeo Alpha Airbus 320.
Okay, wants me to go back this way to the gate. All right, so let's go find our gate. I'm not sure why it's sending me back down. It looks like the runaway here.